This trip, I'm in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I'm starting at Cataloochee and I'm hiking over the mountain and ending the trip at Cosby. I parked my car at Cosby and then rode with my son to Little Cataloochee Trail where he started backpacking, and then I drove his car to Cataloochee. We're gonna meet tonight at 39. He's got about 6.5 miles and I've got about 2 miles. So he doesn't mind hiking in the dark and I chose not to. But tomorrow night is at Laurel Gap Shelter. The third night is at Tricorner Knob Shelter. And then the fourth night is at campsite number 29 and then out to Cosby on the 5th day. Day 2, and I'm continuing up the Pretty Hollow Gap Trail to the Mount Sterling Ridge Trail and then over to Laurel Gap Shelter. I've got about 8 miles today and about 3,000 feet of climbing. Most of the climbing is on the Pretty Hollow Gap Trail. My son left a little before me. He's going to blast up to the Mount Sterling Ridge Trail and then back down to Cataloochee since he's got to leave today. It is a beautiful cloudless fall day, about 65 degrees. Campsite 39 where we stayed last night was absolutely beautiful. The Park Service is spraying some of the hemlock trees in certain areas to kill the woolly hemlock adelgid, and campsite 39 must be one of them. The hemlock trees were big, healthy, and absolutely beautiful. Wrapping up day 2, and I've got about a quarter of a mile to Laurel Gap Shelter. This has been just an absolutely beautiful day. I had lunch with my son. He blasted up to Pretty Hollow Gap, and then I met him about 3/4 of a mile from the top of the gap as he was coming back down. We had planned to eat lunch when we met, but that was a kind of a screwed up plan because the last creek crossing was about a half a mile before I met him, and we both needed water, so he was nice enough to hike down to the last crossing, get some water, and then come back up so we could filter some water. But I haven't seen many people today. I ran into 5 women at one of the creek crossings. They were from Minnesota and were on a little backpacking trip. And then at Pretty Hollow Gap, I ran into a couple from Wisconsin that was doing a backpacking trip. So just another fantastic day in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The backpacking world is really small. Here I am at Laurel Gap Shelter and ran into Randy Redwoods from Nashville, and we've run into each other 2 other times over at Joyce Kilmer Slick Rock Creek at Naked Ground. And the first time he actually hiked up Slick Rock Creek Trail with my son. So Randy's wrapping up, trying to do all the trails in the park. How much more do you have to do, Randy?
I'm done. I finished 2 days ago.
Oh, well, congratulations.
I was going bushwhack this weekend for like celebratory.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm already done. I finished on my birthday on Tuesday.
Man, well, that's even better.
The Booger Man was my last trail. They say to make it, something memorable, and Booger Man was definitely memorable. It was pouring down the rain. I loved it.
All right, I got to get some water and set up my camp and do all that kind of stuff. So. Day 2, and I've only got about 6 miles today from Laurel Gap Shelter to Tricorner Knob Shelter. It's all on the Balsam Mountain Trail, relatively flat hiking, so it should be a really easy day. It's interesting, I haven't stayed at Laurel Gap Shelter since 1998, and it was a backpacking trip that I finished all the trails in the park. And all I had left was this 9/10 of a mile over to Gunner Fork Trail. But anyway, it was a cold trip. It snowed on us all day hiking up to Laurel Gap Shelter. Snowed all night, and we woke up the next morning to about 2 feet of snow on the ground. But it's a little warmer today. I'm almost the Tricorner Knob Shelter. This Balsam Mountain Trail is unbelievable. I haven't done it in, I don't know, 21 years or so. It's one of my favorite high elevation trails in the park. Not many views, but being in the fir trees is just absolutely beautiful. Horses are permitted, so there's a little bit of mud occasionally. But anyway, it's been a great day. I only saw 2 backpackers and 4 guys on horses with 4 pack horses. The temperature's been falling all afternoon. It started out today at 52. It's down about 45 now. It's been really windy, 20, 30 mile an hour winds, and I'd say the low tonight will probably be in the upper 20s. Day 4, and I've left Tricorner Knob Shelter, and I'm on the AT, then the Snake Den Ridge Trail, then Maddron Bald Trail down to campsite number 29. I've got about 6.5 miles today. A little bit of climbing, although I will have a net elevation loss. Tricorner Knob Shelter is about 5,900 feet in elevation, and campsite number 29 is about 4,500 feet. It was really cold last night. The temperature this morning in the shelter was 27, so I'm sure outside the shelter was 4 or 5 degrees colder. There was a tarp over the front of the shelter, and I really did appreciate it because the wind was about 50 miles an hour last night. But it has warmed up now. It's about 40 degrees. The clouds have blown out, and it is absolutely beautiful, crystal clear blue skies. Well, I can hear the creek and I can smell a campfire, so I must be getting pretty close to campsite number 29. It has been an absolutely beautiful day. The high when I was on the AT was about 45 degrees, but now that I've dropped down, I don't know, 1,000 feet or so on the Maddron Bald Trail, the temperature's warmed up to about 50. And I haven't seen too many people today. I ran into a really interesting 65-year-old lady who was section hiking the AT about 600 miles in about 2.5 months. Then I ran into 4 backpackers on the AT, and then on the Snake Den Trail, I ran into 2 backpackers that were climbing from Old Settlers Trail up to Tricorner Knob. So they had about a 4,000 foot climb. Anyway, it's just been another really great day, and I'm looking forward to getting to the camp. Day 5, and it's my final day of this trip. I am backtracking on the Maddron Bald Trail with about 900 feet of climbing and 1.6 miles to the Snake Den Trail. Then it's 4.8 miles and all downhill to Cosby. Campsite number 29. I've never stayed there before. Some consider it the worst campsite in the park. It's pretty with the creek and the waterfalls, but it's small, narrow, rocky, very few flat spots. There was 7 of us there. The capacity is 10, and we were on top of each other. There were 2 ladies from Michigan that were camped next to me. They were on a 2-night trip. It was their first backpacking trip ever. They were inspired to go backpacking watching YouTube videos. They did a great job. They were real troopers, and it looked like they were having a great time. Well, I'm almost back to the Cosby Campground. This has been a really nice backpacking trip. And today, coming down Snake Den Ridge Trail was absolutely beautiful. I've done the trail many times, but it has been a while. The trail drops about 2,800 feet in elevation. There's not what I would consider any really steep sections, but it's a steady descent with only a few short, flat places. But anyway, it's been a really nice trip. The weather was almost perfect, only a little rain Friday night and Friday mornings, and I was in the shelter, so it really didn't matter. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.